Nice.
Welcome to Action Packed, where we look at action movies and find out just how packed they are. Today we'll be taking a look at Ghost in the Shell, released in 2017. Ghost in the Shell was a live adaptation of the very famous and much-loved manga series of the same name created by Masamune Shirow. This fragile piece of fandom had to be directed by the most famous director alive, Rupert Sanders. An underdog director with a woven complex story and a $110 million budget? What could go wrong? It stars Scarlett Johansson as Motoko Kusanagi. Oh, so it just kinda goes wrong right off the bat. It sparked outrage with a lot of people accusing the film of whitewashing the cast. The thing that really got me was in the film there's these flashbacks to when Motoko was younger, and the younger Motoko was played by Japanese actress Kaori Yamamoto. I get the whole idea of identity being fluid here with the robot shell not reflecting her real self, but it just kinda leaves a lot of whys. The movie was a mess all over though. DreamWorks had this film cooking since 2008. That's the same year Spotify was created. That's a long time to swing and miss. It wasn't even screened for critics before it was released, so they knew. The movie follows Motoko Kusanagi, who wakes up having her brain placed inside a fancy new robot body. She's all freaked out about it though, and she eventually starts to question her reality and looks for the truth about her past. Ghost in the Shell only turned over $170 million for the $110 million budget it had, and was ultimately lampooned by critics and audiences alike. Besides everything obviously wrong with the movie and why fans of the original wouldn't like it just didn't have that grab to be a classic film objectively. I mean, it's not really bad in my opinion, it's just kinda eh. And I went into this with fresh eyes too. I didn't know anything about the original series, I just went in wanting an action movie. Something that did stand out to me were the visual effects though. Just forget about the plot and the characters and just enjoy the scenes. And the action, cause that's why we're really here, isn't it? Let's start the movie and find out. The movie begins with some stunning CG work showing us a brain being implanted inside a robot. Although this opening scene is filled with CG, there are a bunch of practical effects mixed in as well. Adam Savage of Mythbusters hosts a video talking to the visual effects company Weta about how they pulled this off. I'll leave that in the description for you to check out. This robot shell is created by Hanka Robotics, a company that deals with body modification and, well, robotics. Our robot friend wakes up as Scarlett Johansson, and we're introduced to a few key characters right away. Motoko is referred to as Mira Killian, and we meet Dr. Ulay, who designed the robot body and thinks that makes her mama material. Ulay tells Mira that she and her family had died, but Mira's brain was saved. Mr. Cutter, the CEO of Hanka Robotics, wants to use Mira as a weapon, and even though Dr. Ulay pushes back on the idea, we see that 1 year later she's on assignment becoming the weapon he wanted her to be. Mira is now referred to as Major, referencing her title with Section 9, which is a counterterrorism agency that has some not really explored connection to Hanka Robotics. I guess they're contracted, but they're also government run. I don't know. Forget about all this story stuff, let's dive right into some action. We go to a Hanka Robotics conference as it's the target of a crazy cyborg terrorist attack. One of the already creepy looking hostess robots shoots some kind of alien tongue into Hanka Robotics scientist Dr. Osmond's neck. Dr. Osmond is an uncredited role played by Michael Wincott, who is also the voice of Scroop from Treasure Planet. That's kinda cool, right? He's also Canadian, and like always, that's the only reason I'm bringing any of this up. The robot blue screens his brain, killing him and adding a quick kill to our list. I'm also going to add robot kills to the list, by the way, because I mean the whole concept of the movie is the blurred line between machine and man, so who am I to judge? We get 2 kills here as these crazy looking terrorists shoot these greeting robots. They keep going and we get 8 more kills as they break in further to the conference room, killing the other greeting robots and the other Hanka employees. Major suits up, or down, I guess, and jumps right in as well, giving us a cool shot and adding even more kills to our count as she takes out all these cyborg terrorists.
Help me. Please, don't let me die.
That is terrifying. If you're new to the channel, I just count each body I see in cases like these, even the ones in the background. Killing all these cyborg terrorists gets Major all bummed out about not knowing her past. We get a powwow with Section 9 head honcho Chief Aramaki. Aramaki shows another attack that happened to some other Hanka Robotics scientists, adding 3 more kills to our list, because even if it's just a hologram, we see them, right? So that's a kill. There's no rules here, whatever. The orchestrator reveals themselves to be a person named Kuze. Major and her classic cop partner Bato are sent to check out what Hanka researcher Dr. Dolan has found in the robot that killed Osmond. Bato's a cool character, he pretty much just fills in the classic veteran cop guy. They go and meet with Dolan, and she's all, I wouldn't hook up to that thing, it's pretty deadly. Plot armor's pretty handy in cases like these. And Major just neurolinks right up to the creepy virus bot. Although Major is almost hacked by Kuze, she's able to be pulled out of the crazy virus bot just in time. Somehow this tells Major that Kuze is hiding in a Yakuza gang bar, so of course they go there to find him and things go wrong. Or right from our perspective, because we get some more action. The Yakuza members aren't very nice guys, unfortunately, so Bato and Major have to kick some ass, altogether adding 15 Yakuza kills to the count. Major breaks off alone and goes to the club's basement to find Kuze, who's suspiciously just lingering around waiting for her. Major shoots her gun, but Kuze turns out to be a hologram, and this turns out to be all a trap. Bato catches up just in time to see the first explosion we get to add, but his eyes just can't take it, and he loses both of them. He does get some super cool robot eyes now though. Even though Major's decision to deep dive into that creepy robot causes a lot of plot development, our character seems stuck in the first 10 minutes of the movie. Major is still all, I don't know who I am, and Mr. Cutter is still all, she's the future of my business. Kuze is still all,
collaborate with Hanka Robotics and be destroyed.
Kuze actually goes ahead and decides that this movie doesn't need Dr. Dolan anymore and kills her, giving us number 44. Before Dolan dies, she was able to secure the list of Hanka researchers Kuze's killing. Our heroes discover Dr. Ulay is next on the list, sending Major and Bato to quickly find her. They better move fast cause Kuze's already on the job, hacking the minds of 2 working garbage guys, who then go and crash right into Ulay's car. The hacked workers kill Ulay's driver, giving us 1 quick kill, but before they can really confront Ulay, Major and Bato pull up with Section 9. We get 1 kill to add again as Bato deals with one of the workers with his fancy new eyes. The other worker runs away, which is awesome for us cause that's our first chase of the movie. Major is able to get a hold of Bill Murray and smack him around a little bit before they find out that's not Bill Murray at all, and he's arrested. Even after putting this hacked worker into a secured cell, Kuze is able to hack back into him. The team's able to track Kuze again, and they're all like, let's go get him. Again, the hacked worker doesn't have a use in this movie anymore and decides to go out with a hang. That's a bad joke, but it's also one for us to add to the kills. We really start coming down on the action in the back half as we get another action sequence with Section 9 closing in on Kuze's new hideout. Inside, we get 9 kills as the squad moves their way through this culty looking building. We get a few explosions to add as the team blow the door to get inside the building, and this guy has Martyrdom equipped. Come on, dude, everybody knows Marty is for noobs. Major breaks off alone, again, discovering Kuze's own spin on the social network, and giving us a little second sequence of action. In this next part of action, we get 2 kills from my understanding of the scene. One when Major shoots the first attacker, and another when she electrocutes this other guy in the head. Everyone else just gets karate'd and flipped. That is until there's just too many, and she's overcome by Kuze's cultists. Major wakes up to Kuze finally introducing himself. Kuze is kinda super crazy, but isn't actually a very bad guy, and he reveals to Major that he was the previous version of her, also created by Hanka Robotics. Hanka Robotics tried to kill him when his brain started rejecting his robot shell. Kuze frees Major, telling her to question her past, and Bato breaks in just in time because Kuze was all done his monologue anyway. We actually get an explosion to add real quick as Bato blows that door open. Kuze makes an escape, and a confused Major also runs from her Section 9 buddies. Major goes right to the house of a sleeping Dr. Ulay, confronting her about the new knowledge she has because of Kuze. Ulay confesses that before Major, there were 98 unsuccessful attempts, and that the people who were used weren't dead at all, but very alive people they kidnapped and experimented on. Major is devastated by the news and is arrested by Cutter to be killed as she knows too much now. In a classic bad guy fashion, Cutter says he thinks Ulay should be the one to kill her, sliding her an evil red death liquid. But Ulay's too much of a G, and instead pumps Major's brain with a friendly yellow alive liquid, helping her escape Cutter's custody. This ultimately costs her life, as Cutter doesn't appreciate that very much and shoots Ulay right in the heart. We also get another quick security guard who dies as Major's escaping. After talking to Kuze, Major stops taking the medicine Hanka Robotics gave her, and she starts to remember things from her past, going to visit her real mom. While Major's out trying her best to develop as a character, Cutter is talking to Section 9, ordering them to execute Major on first sight. But Aramaki is like, nah, I don't think I'm gonna do that, man. So Cutter sends agents to kill all of Section 9, and we get some more action to add. As first Aramaki heads to his car and some agents close in on him. This is probably the most badass scene in the whole movie in my opinion. Just like the way it looks, how badass Aramaki is. Anyway, we get 3 kills to add here as Aramaki puts down these bunny wabbits. We get 2 more to add as 2 agents are seen closing in on Bato. We don't see them die, but Bato escapes, so my guess is that they die. Togusa is next, and he takes down 3 guys of his own. Togusa apparently plays a much bigger part in the anime. I don't really get the impression that he's supposed to be someone really close to Major and Bato in the live adaptation, but I guess between Aramaki and Bato, he's just kinda lost in the movie. We catch up with Major, who's still tripping on her past, going to a burned down building where glitches in her brain start to show her, and us, where she really came from, being literally ripped away from her family as a teenager. Kuze shows up because he's got the same memories, and they both score a classic late movie realization. Whoa, your name isn't Kuze, it's Hito. Whoa, your name isn't Major or Mira, it's Motoko. Little do they know, however, we don't care. We're here because we're in the middle of a final action sequence, and Major and Kuze get blown up, adding a nice explosion to our count and some cool ragdoll physics to our characters. The explosion turns out to be caused by Cutter controlling a spider tank. We get 2 more explosions to add in the commotion, as Cutter shoots at Major with 2 more missiles. Cutter then turns his attention to a legless Kuze, who can't really do anything, so, you know. But in a last stand, Major appears in her suit and starts trying to open the control hatch on the spider tank. She's able to do so at the cost of her very expensive robot body, and we get an explosion to add as the spider mech is disabled. Cutter has a backup plan, however, and Kuze gets sniped from a helicopter by one of Cutter's agents, adding couscous to our count. Before the sniper can take Major out as well, the pilot in the helicopter is sniped by Section 9 super sniper Saito, who also just kinda gets lost in the mix throughout the movie and is supposed to be like some bigger character in the anime. That adds 3 kills to our list, as we see 2 Hanka agents sniping and 1 must be piloting, right? We also get an explosion as the helicopter hits the ground. We're not done yet though, and we need to have a proper boring Hollywood ending, with Aramaki going to Cutter's office and Major giving him permission to terminate his ass, adding Mr. Cutter, CEO, to the list. And then yeah, we just kind of get a happy ending, you know? Everything is great with everybody, you know, Cutter's dead, the world is perfect. They flex the CG a little more, it's left pretty open-ended, and that concludes the movie. Before we get to the ending, there's 2 explosions that I'm gonna add here at the end. There's one that I missed when Section 9 pulls up to help Ule, and there's a explosion underneath their truck that stops it. And then there's another one here when Cutter's like death plane or whatever with his assassins hit the building before hitting the ground, and I was kind of up in the air about it, but I'll count it as one, sure. So how action-packed was Ghost in the Shell? We get 73 kills, 11 explosions, and only 1 chase scene in Ghost in the Shell, giving us a total of 85 action events over a 106-minute runtime. This makes it tied for 2nd on our list in kills, 4th in explosions, and last place in 7th with chase scenes. You can see my current list in the description. I don't know where this list will ever go, or what it's even really for, but thanks for watching Action Packed. What did you think of Ghost in the Shell? Like I said, I haven't seen any of the anime, so I'm sorry if I missed any connections to it in the movie. I just wanted to see an action movie, and even with a fresh point of view, this movie isn't very great. It's just a pretty basic sci-fi action ride, you know? But as always, I'll see you in the next episode. Stay safe, everybody.